You're listening to STP Radio.
Welcome to another episode of STP Radio. I'm Jean Ann Harrison, and today we have Phil Liu, and we're going to talk about his two sessions coming up in the STPCon in Denver. Hi, Phil. Welcome to STP Radio.
Good morning, Jean Ann.
Today we're going to talk about your sessions, and you're doing a workshop, a full-day workshop with Mike Lyles on metrics. That's all I'm going to say about it, because I would like for you to give us the details about that session.
Gee, that's a big question. Give you the details. Well, I think that
or
the session,
general review.
Yeah, the session is entitled Field of Metrics, and you know, Mike, he likes to, he's kind of a retro guy. So he likes to tie things back to themes, and I think that the main theme really is that we want to give folks metrics that they can take home and use right away. And in doing that, we're going to dig into not just testing metrics and defects. You know, a lot of people focus on defects, but really talking about some metrics that you can use that are earlier in the life cycle, so that you can, monitor these metrics and improve the defect types of metrics that are downstream. I don't know if that made sense or not, but I hope so.
Yeah, it did. So when it comes to the leadership team, because sometimes the leadership wants certain metrics versus what testers can give them, are you going to be showing some practical ways for the two to come together?
Yeah, we are. Actually, a lot of times leadership and management will ask for metrics, and they might not even really know, what the metrics can be used for. So we're going to work with folks on being able to come up with ways to communicate with their management, in showing what metrics can be used for, what the metrics that they're asking for, what those are used for, and possibly have some other metrics that they can use to work with management. So, for instance, management may say, "Oh, give me the defect escape rate," and we may talk about that particular metric, but also have some other metrics that we can suggest that we use in communicating with management.
Okay, great. And will there be some practical exercises, because this is a full-day workshop? So obviously you're going to be with this audience a whole day, and I'm assuming you're going to have some practical exercises for testers and or leaders who attend this session.
We are going to have lots of exercises. That's probably one of the things about my style, is that I just don't like to stand there and talk and have people nod their heads, right? So we're definitely going to get people involved and probably have an exercise every hour or so within the workshop, so that they can remember what they've learned and be able to take it home and use it.
Yeah, I think that's the key, is that, because of course the workshops are a separate price from the standard conference portion. And so it's really important for people to basically get their money's worth when it comes to that extra fee. And I find, I've attended many of your sessions, and certainly it has helped me. I've used a lot of knowledge that I gained from your session into my own testing. So I'm sure a lot of people will be able to take it home and really utilize it right away.
Well, I certainly hope so, and I'm really happy to be able to do this, the metrics session with Mike, who adds another dimension and perspective. So I'm really excited about it.
Yeah, Mike is a very good speaker, and he really does understand how to get the point across as well. So it'll be a good session.
Right.
And then we've got our session. We have an extended workshop session, which is not a full day, during the conference time frame on mobile testing, and helping testers to really gain some knowledge about mobile testing. Did you want to expand a little bit on that?
Well, I guess I can say that I'm going to be talking a lot about the mobile usability and mobile user experience, both of which fields are changing very quickly. As we get more devices and quote unquote the Internet of Things and mobile wearables and so forth, these kinds of things are influencing our expectations of mobile apps. And I know that in the beginning of the session we're going to be talking about the 4 different types of mobile apps in terms of mobile web apps and mobile local apps and so forth. And I'm really excited to talk about the user experience stuff and the kinds of things that we need to work on in order to design our applications and test them so that the users have a good experience.
Well, it is the most important part of, selling mobile apps and making them successful, as well as for companies to really gain a huge impact in the mobile world, is that the user experience, of course, has to be perfect, or not maybe perfect, but certainly an immediate good experience.
Yeah, well, the thing is that you just can't have a mobile app that works now. Working is not enough. And so that's the main point, I think, about, user experience, and that you're not going to get a 5-star app just with an app that works.
Right.
You have to have a lot more than just works.
Right, and it goes way beyond just, pretty pictures and it fills the screen. I mean, there are things that you have to include in your experience that will strike a chord with users.
Yeah, right. A lot of people think about user experience as the wow factor, but, sometimes the wow factor is very hard to define, and that's what we're going to be working on with the attendees, and really thinking about defining the wow factor for them in their application and their organization.
Great. Okay. And one of the things that is near and dear to my heart, of course, is defining which kind of project you're working on, because there's too many people that use the term mobile testing and do not understand. As a matter of fact, I just had an interview with a company where the technical question that I got was, if you have a if you have a web application, what is the difference in testing with mobile testing? And I was like, well, what kind of project do you have? And he goes, well, it doesn't really matter. And I said, oh, yes, it does. And we have to define the mobile strategies based on the project itself. The favorite term is context. And there are too many people that misunderstand that mobile testing goes beyond just mobile testing. It's an umbrella. It's not what you're testing. So that's something I'm looking forward to explaining and helping to define a real strategy based on the particular mobile testing project. So that's one of the things that I really wanted to stress, as well as just being able to really spend some time, and we're going to be working on exercises as well on user experience. Can you share one idea right now?
Well, I think that mostly in user experience, we need to think about the user and the different personas that people have. And the two big things about the user experience that most people don't talk about is the being able to develop an application that users can trust, and being able to develop an application that anticipates what the user wants to do based on what they have done and based on their profile. So those are two fairly newer aspects of the user experience that have not really been that well defined, that we're going to be talking about, and I'm pretty excited about it.
Yeah, great. I agree with you 100%.
I think the main thing about our session, Jean Ann, is that, I guess you could say it's mobile testing 2.0, to use that cliche, and that, I think that mobile is fairly more mature now than it was. So we're not talking about, making sure that you test for interrupts anymore. That's like a given, right? So we're moving on to more advanced things about testing for the mobile environment.
Well, the most important really is user experience, and I don't know if I agree with you on not testing interrupts. There's a lot of...
No. I mean, I didn't say that we're not testing interrupts.
okay.
I said we've gone beyond that. That's like a given. People need to do that,
Yeah,
and they should know that. You don't need to teach that anymore.
Okay. Well,
I don't think so.
I don't know if I quite agree with not being teaching it, because there are still people that spend a lot of time on automation, and they don't always test interrupts, and that I don't think you can really test really put into automation the interrupts, depending upon the interrupt itself.
Right, different kinds of interrupts, sure.
Right. And there are some that do have to be done manually. So because of the focus of automation, I think in the testing world in general, what ends up happening is there's a lot of test coverage that's missing. So, we still need to put focus on, in my world, it's test design. We've got to really think about the test design and what kinds of things we want to test, and not worry so much at first about automation, then figure out what we can automate and what we should automate, and not necessarily spend so much time on, automation, and we're done. And I think that's where my personal message is that I think people just think that's 80-90% coverage. It's like, no.
Right.
And that's where our session, I think, will come into play, especially with user experience.
Okay, great. I look forward to it as well.
Okay, so, thank you, Phil, for joining us today. We really appreciate your time, and we'll see you in a couple of weeks. And we hope that everyone can enjoy the conference.
Alrighty, see you soon.
Take care.
Bye.